Alright everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the My Team Career Mode series in F1 23. We'll be taking Fleetwood Formula from the near back of the grid all the way to the top. Now to start things off, let's have a look. We've got the sponsorships on the car now finally. The new livery is looking fresh, a little sparkle of light blue all over the car. And it's time for us to do our activities before the race weekend. Starting off with a no-brainer, we're going to get the funded team event, have all of the department morales go up, because in the previous episode, that was a problem for us. The powertrain and durability specifically aren't too happy with us, so let's try and improve that, because we want all of our upgrades going on without failure. Speaking of, the beam wing goes on successfully. Let's go. First aerodynamics upgrade, I believe, of the series. Let's go have a look, but first of all, we have to make a decision. We're going to prioritise the pace. Thank you very much, Jack Doohan. Who cares about awareness when you can't finish in the points anyway? There we go. We're doing all of our activities, and it's time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix hot lap. But first of all, there we go. We got chassis on as well in the meantime, and we're going to chuck down the plank development because we need to improve that area of the car. And having a look, we can't afford anything else, but just seeing that everything went on okay. From last episode, of course, we finished in the points, and before we get started as well, this is what we're talking about. We need to improve the chassis, and quality control is a problem because of our team morale being so low, and of course low specs. So we jump in to do the drift challenge, and these are things we need to get doing because of the acclaim and the money that you get for completing them, and that's something that we need because our team is kind of bummy. Obviously, this is just a really simple thing. Just drift around the track. No use watching all of it. Look at that beautiful drift. These supercars aren't that much fun to drive, I can't lie. Definitely could do with some improvement. There's an opportunity there, but EA haven't got it quite right just yet. I mean, maybe in the future. There's really no point to them at the moment. No one drives them. Maybe that was their point of like bringing in F1 life or whatever, but nobody cares about that either. But there we go. Of course, we get the gold in the Aston Martin, and boom, we get the acclaim, we get the cash, and it's time to go into practice around Saudi Arabia. This is a track that I am quite favourable to. My car is doing a bit better than it was last time. We're back in the midfield, but yeah, like I'm saying, I'm quite good around this track. As you can see, we're jumping straight out there. We're doing the track acclimatization, going to get all purples on the first try, except for the second one, of course. I must say though, I wasn't used to the amount of grip that I had in some areas. It would just turn in very sharp. We're going to cross the line, and let's see how quick we are. Okay. So we were a fair bit off the pace, but as you can see now, in the top left, we've done a few laps on the mediums now for the race strategy, and we're pretty quick. I mean, we're quicker than Russell on the mediums, Hamilton on the softs, Hulkenberg on the softs. Like, we're doing quite well. Okay, we've got good pace.
The damage to the car.
We have damage, of course. Like, why wouldn't I have damage? But there we go, P2, we went out on the softs as well, and at the end, we're going to get a fair bit of resource points, even though Jack Doohan isn't pulling his weight yet, which is problematic. But yeah, come on, mate, pull your head in. We've got 1,000 resource points in the top right, as you can see. We're going to go see what we can do in the meantime. And aerodynamics is what we wanted. We have something coming on soon. We can't afford the major one. It is quite a big deal. We want to get that on as soon as possible. Maybe we might have something in powertrain worthwhile. I mean, again, we can't do more than one of those at a time, so realistically we have to do aerodynamics. DRS, I don't really care. Let's get some front downforce on and jump straight into qualifying. It's going to give our car a bit of an improvement, and realistically I think we'll do just alright around here. The car doesn't need that much downforce at the front. It feels pretty good. The only problem really would be sometimes the rear downforce, but there was nothing doing there. But yeah, let's go around quali and see what this car can do. Again, I'm expecting big things from me this weekend. My confidence is extremely high. We're going to go, on, of course, on fresh soft. It's our first lap. Let's have a look. Obviously, tapping the wall there on the start isn't ideal, but let's get it going. Power down, DRS open, first lap of qualifying. If practice was anything to go by, this should be a pretty solid lap. Obviously, qualifying is going to tear us up a little bit because the AI always just pulls something else out of the back pocket. But realistically, this game is better than the last, and I was very confident around here. Sector 1 is going to be the killer. There's a new little thing around Jeddah. The curbs, well, some of the curbs, like here on the left and there on the right, there you go. You can bottom out pretty easily on it, and here on the exit as well, as we do every single time. Maybe not quite every single time, but 9 times out of 10, I have been bottoming out on that, which is something to look out for. You don't want to do it if you don't have to, of course, because it will slow you down. So far, Sector 1's been okay. Plenty of time to gain. This part here is always tricky because you really have to get it turned in early, but if you turn it in too early, well then you're hitting the wall. So we don't want to do that either. Back straight now, it's a very, well, it's not really the back straight, it's kind of a middle straight. So much speed carried into this sharp left-hander. Quick on the brakes, slamming it in. Here, you can also bottom out on that. We kind of do a little bit, but not too bad. You can get away with it. Sometimes it's worth doing if you can carry the speed properly. But here we go. Another long straight with the DRS, turning in nice and sharp. Got to get a good exit here because you have another long straight until the line. Get the DRS open, and here we go. First lap of qualifying. We're sitting in P5, and I will definitely take that. Only 2/10 off of Perez, and, well, Max has set in a blinding lap. We're well over a second behind him, but that's no problem, because we know we've got pace to gain. So let's do it then. Let's show our pace, bring ourselves towards the top in qualifying 1. First of all, first couple corners, you can exit the corner with a little bit of acceleration in first. Previously, you could never do that. You would spin into the wall. Here we go. So not bottoming out on that, and immediately Delta likes that. We're going to go up almost to 2/10. Try not to bottom out there. We didn't. Get it turned in nicely, and we have. Look at that. That was beautiful. And look, going over the curb a little bit on the exit, bottoming out not much, but 4.5 tenths up at the end of Sector 1. Sector 2 now. We didn't have that much time to gain, but I'm sure we could still find some possibilities. Here, that was a better turn in, better exit. Look at that. Bang. Now, sharp left-hander, heavy on the brakes. Get the power down nice and early, dropping an extra gear for the extra acceleration on the exit, because you know what? You can, so why not? Back straight now, into the braking zone. Let's try and get it nice and narrow, better than we did last time. We have power down. DRS will be open, keeping it tight to the left of the track, closest run to the line, and that puts us, where does it put us? P3 in qualifying 1. That is remarkable. We've put ourselves on the second row of the grid. Obviously, it is Q1, so it doesn't really matter, but it's promise that we can carry pace through. Look at the times. Look, we weren't the quickest really in any sector, but we were quicker than most in every sector. Have a look at this traffic though. This could be a problem. The AI was not having it. Look at that, just flying through, waiting. You needed to bide your time here. Q2, let's go again. Come on, we need to set a quicker lap now. We've been absolutely dropped. Track evolution was not our friend. We need a quicker lap. We're at the back. We have the space in front of us. Let's push now and make it into Q3 for the first time ever. Come on. Beautiful first few turns. Got a little bit wide there. Around the corner. Let's see what we can do. Get it hooked into the right. And we've tapped the wall. And we've gone on and we've run wide. And that will be the end of that lap. Nothing happening except for a little bit of improvement found in Sector 3. Now, this is our last lap. I beg my pardon. 15 seconds to go. There is traffic though. But we are probably going to get knocked out if we don't set a faster time. The Ferrari there almost getting in our way into turn 1. That has slowed us down a little bit. A little bit scared I was. 2/10 down, but never fear. I am here to set a quicker lap. Get out the way. Alrighty, beautiful. Get it turned in. Again, drifting a little bit too wide. Around the corner, and Gasly's completely in the way. What are you doing, son? That's completely done it. Let's just pull off to the side now. Let everyone through. Oh, God. There goes our lap. Oh! Who's that? George is out. Stroll's crashed. Carlos is also out. And what is going on? Qualifying 2 has had an absolute shambolic end, but thanks to it, we've made our way through. There was really nothing I could do there. Gasly just did block me, so it's Gasly's fault. Anyone who wants to complain in the comments, it was not me. I was off the track. Well, not really, but off to the side enough. Never fear. We made it through to Q3 for the first ever time, which is ridiculous in itself. I was confident though. Confidence won't get you everywhere though. You need to perform. And let's see if we can do it now. Into turn 1, getting it turned in well enough. Beautiful, down the first, second, short shift, and we're on it. Keeping it narrow now, almost scraping the wall on the exit there. This is one easy to get wrong, and we do a little bit. We did tap it there. Have a look how close we got. We shaved the wall, which could have slowed us down a bit. I was quite tentative there. Sector 1 is the place that you will make or break your time, right? And we probably have broken it, but it's okay. We can make it up in sectors 2 and 3. We can be super quick around this entire circuit. There's nothing to worry about. Alrighty, keeping it narrow now. Sharp right, heavy brakes. We get it turned in quite nicely there. We can get the power down. We're a bit slow accelerating at the corner, to be honest. Again, we dropped down an extra gear, bottomed a little bit, but no major error. Just kind of a little bit slow all around. Again, with the exit, we weren't that good turning in. We're a bit wide. Didn't carry the most speed. Let's see where we finish. It's P5, better than Ocon, but once everyone else is on the track, we're 7th. We still have another lap in us with a brand new set of soft tyres. Let's get out there before the session, before this session ended. We didn't get out in time. This is a major problem for me. I get greedy.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Bottas, Wood, Ocon, Russell, Sainz, Joe, Norris, Magnussen, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Sargent, Doohan, Oscar Piastri, Doohan. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today. Can we start by having a chat about Sergio Perez?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
Alrighty, so
after the points finished last race,
okay,
let's
thanks,
aim to
Mark.
keep that momentum going.
Okay, well, we threw qualifying. We could have made a few places extra. Let's focus on the race now. We've got good race pace. The strategy, we're going to go for a medium to the hards. It is the quickest, as it says, but without further ado, we're on the grid. The 5 red lights are on, and we are racing in Saudi Arabia. We're off to a great start. Not quite, actually, where we had a good start, but then we lost it. Into turn 1 now, going around the outside, turns to the inside, and we've got George Russell just side by side on the exit. We slide, and we're going to lose out that position to George. Concede the position, don't go too wide through here, or not. George Russell, get behind me, son. I'm in front. See you later. Squeezed him out. Was a little bit dodgy. The stewards might have an investigation, but nothing so far. We have lost a bit of time, though, to the drivers in front, but never fear, obviously, they're going to get banked up. Max Verstappen is next on the radar. Not going to be an easy task. We are on the same tyres, though, so let's just see what we can do. George Russell will be a menace behind us, though. He's on brand new softs, of course, it's the start of the race, and coming at us with pace. George Russell is going to be within our slipstream range, and as we know, of course, slipstream is overpowered as all hell. We've got the ERS, but we realise pretty quickly there's no point. We're just going to waste it. Let him through, slip in behind him, and use his soft tyres to our advantage. We're almost going to get the position back, but giving him a little bump draft now, and stuck behind him, the dirty air is a major factor. We don't make the turn properly, and it slows us down a bit. But speaking of slowing down a bit, Ocon and Joe must have been squabbling because they're 3 seconds behind. We can focus on what is in front of us now, which is really good to know because I'm easily distracted. George Russell now moves on through 4/10 when he crosses the line. Nope, because we've got the ERS and we are going to absolutely hunt him down. Maybe not for an overtake because that would be silly to squabble for a position that we're going to lose out eventually. Yet let's use him and try and move on into this race now. We've got good pace. We've got good tyres. The mediums are great around here. We need to perform. We need to not make silly little errors like that one going over the curb and getting bottomed out. I am very prone to silly mistakes where I lose my concentration. But if I want to get George Russell, I cannot afford to do that. And we get a good exit here actually. We're going to keep dumping that ERS because we want to make moves forward. Sure, we could stay behind George Russell, but at the end of the day, we know that's not me. Into the braking zone, braking really deep, almost getting into the back of George Russell. We're going to need a good exit, and he doesn't. He slides. The rears are going for him. We're going to dump the ERS in the slipstream, pulling out to the left, just keeping it on the track. George trying to squeeze us out. Speaking of, we're going to squeeze him out into turn 1. He's going to try back around the outside. Late braking, late turning in, and see you later, George. You're gone. Unless we spin and we keep it still though. That could have gone very sour very quickly. By the way, purple, we've gone the fastest lap. Speaking of those errors from before, there they are. Let's not be making those ones. Oh, there's another one. We tapped the wall. Please stop doing stupid things. We do have the DRS though to help defend from George, but he's not going to be very happy about that because he's still behind us trying to make his way back through. He'll be quite frustrated because we are eating away at his tyres. Bottas now defending on the inside. We're going to try and go around the outside. We've almost gone off the track. We've just about kept it. Keep it narrow on the inside, on the exit. We've got the worst traction ever. Spinning, sliding, but we're going to keep it around the outside of Bottas. Going super deep. We've kept it on the track and we've made the move. What a move. You never see someone go around the outside there. But the Fleetwood Formula car is very much capable of it. Thank you very much. We're up in a P6. It will not be easy though. We still have a lot of work to do, and next up the road, it's 1.5 seconds to Alonso. Thankfully though, we've got the cars behind battling. George is now going around the outside of Valtteri Bottas, but Bottas tapping him on the exit, getting very squirrely, and we have now pulled 7/10 and then lost it immediately. DRS is unreal at the end of this lap. We're going to try and keep it alongside on the exit there, giving them the big old squeeze. George, this isn't going to be easy for you. It's probably going to happen sooner or later, but I'm going to make you work for every bit of it. George is now gone, so I take back what I said. But see you later, Bottas. Stay where you belong. That's behind me, man. You don't have the Mercedes anymore, so think again before you try taking me on into turn 1. Now, we have a bit of space to Bottas behind. Carlos Sainz might have to battle him sooner or later. He is quite a ways away though, but let's not worry about Bottas. We know we're faster than him if we don't make silly mistakes again. George, stop where you are. I'm coming, lad. Hold up. DRS is important, so you're just going to watch me now get into a groove without sliding like that and try and just go along with George because he's got the pace, right? He's got the softs, he's in a Mercedes. As long as I can stay in the DRS and keep on keeping on, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Here we go. It's DRS time. DRS 1, 2, and 3. We're still in that range. Look at us now on the back of George. Let's get into a groove. Going deep again into turn 1. Not getting it turned in enough is going to be a massive error for us because as our wear starts to go on, we won't be able to recover it as easily. Ethan, mate, pull your head in. Speaking of, I'm doing just that now on the back of George Russell. The first sector, you've got the dirty air, so it's hard to keep along when you've also got the slower tyre. Maybe not for long though, the softs should start to wear off pretty soon. They're not though. This is something that I've noticed in this race now as we have another round of the triple DRS. Sliding to get through, but we get it and there she is. The softs are lasting a very, very long time. Now, Everyone in the last race had worse tyre wear than me, so I figure, come on, well, if George can go this long on the softs, why can't I? See, at this point, I'm being told to come in for hards, because that was my initial strategy. Right? Wrong. Well, it was, but now I've abandoned it. Mark, stay where you belong. I am now the race engineer. We're going to go and extend this medium stint and go out on the softs. George is starting to struggle on them, right? So maybe that was the wrong decision, but I'm committed. I'm committed now. We need to get past George, because he is going to be a problem if he starts to go too slow. But hopefully he boxes soon, and with him, maybe a few of the other soft runners. So we might be able to gain a few positions, and hopefully, could there be a safety car? I haven't had one yet in this game. Haven't had a safety car or a red flag. Saudi Arabia wouldn't be a surprise if we saw one of them here. So far, so good. No major errors from the AI or myself. DRS 1, 2, and soon to be 3. But let's see, does George Russell come into the pits now? We're going to try and get a good exit here. I don't think I'm going to use the overtake because I think he's coming in, but he's not. I've made a mistake. I really should have pushed for the overtake on this lap because George is going to be slow. We're now at the halfway mark of this race once we cross the line, and to be completely honest with you, we made a pretty bad set of mistakes in Sector 1. As you can see, George has absolutely pulled away from us. Still enough though, we get the DRS 1, 2, and we get the third as George Russell pulls into the pits now. We have clean air. Leclerc's in the pits as well. He started on the mediums and he must be going to the hards. The softs wouldn't make it this far, right? Well, you know what? Having said that, we're about to test it out because we're coming in at the end of this lap. It is time to push. Hang on a minute. Something's happened. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Could this be the safety car? Let's see what happened now. It looks like it was Jack Doohan who created the yellow flag. Has he spun and kept it on the track because there was no safety car? What's happened to Jack Doohan? Come on, mate. Surely it was someone in front of you. Oh, no! The Fleetwood Formula's had an engine failure. What is going on? This is tragic for the team. This must be danger. What if something happens to me? Reliability shouldn't be an issue. We've got the Mercedes engine, so for us to have an engine failure, something must be wrong with the car. Jack Doohan is out of the session. Still waiting for that safety car. We're boxing at the end of this lap regardless. Come on, it's time for the softs. Let's switch over now. Come on. Come on, we need a good pit stop. We've got Alonso and Verstappen in the pits ahead of us, and we're going to be battling with Sainz and Bottas on the exit. It is crucial. We need a quick stop, and we need to get back in front, otherwise our race could be well and truly done and dusted. What?
I know it's not ideal, but let's try.
Well, first of all, that wasn't the front right, that was the front left. But second of all, you've got to be kidding. Bottas is now going past us. We have to get past just about. We're getting a better exit, Bottas. Thank goodness for that yellow flag. I thought Carlos might have an issue, but it's Jack Doohan off the track again. That is devastating. The team has severely let us down now. Carlos Sainz got in front of us, which is the last thing we needed. We do probably have the pace to get back up to him, but that is just not what we needed in this race. We need to be maximising points. We should be up there fighting with George Russell, and we're 5 seconds behind now. 5 seconds. This has all gone horribly, horribly wrong, and of course we get the DRS. We mean business. When the DRS is on, the performance is strong. It's time. We go purple in Sector 3 with the DRS on the back of Sainz. He's going to move to the left. We're going around the outside, trying to make a move work into Turn 1. Similar to what we did on Bottas just a few laps earlier, we've done it around the outside, turned inside. We've moved back up to P7. Still over 4 seconds to George Russell in front, which could have been a lot less. Look how narrow we are there on Sector 1, just absolutely pinging it through. See, this is what I'm talking about. Let's pull away from Carlos now. We don't need him getting back at us, but he will be trying to. We've not got a whole lot of ERS. This is a problem. I need to be better at managing my ERS, and equally, I need to upgrade it. Carlos Sainz has gone slow on the exit there. That's the dirty air taking effect, but he's going to have the triple DRS. Unless he makes a massive error, which we know he won't, we could be in trouble now. Now, we're not going to bother with the ERS. We're going to let him overtake us, and we're going to take the DRS down the main straight now. Little bit of DRS chicken, and let's see if we can get a good enough exit to keep with him. We've had a little slide, and that could completely ruin our chances now. Bottas behind us. We're not pulling away as I would have hoped. Carlos going defensive here, and we don't have enough room around the outside. He is driving very well to keep us behind on some of these turns, and it's something we have to look out for because he is very smart. We haven't, again, had a good Sector 1. It's pretty poor, and sliding as well. Look, we're just pushing too hard. But we are starting to slowly fall out of the DRS to Carlos Sainz. As you can see at the first there, we're 0.9. This is all it is now. Trying to keep with him. We made a little bit back on that lap. Lap 15 now. What can we do? Into turn 1. I'm really approaching quite quick, and we've gone way too deep. We've almost taken out the back of the Ferrari, and we obviously have to give up all the time gained going on the slight escape road route, and that has completely ruined our race. We have no chance of catching back up with Carlos now. We needed the DRS, and it's gone. Bottas is behind us, and he could potentially on the later parts of this race start to gain. Also behind him, Lance Stroll on the mediums will have great pace. Our softs probably don't have that much longer in them. As you can see, we are struggling a little bit to turn on the exits. We just don't have that much front grip.
That's 8th place. You're in 8th place. Okay, Sainz is ahead of you. Okay, gaps in the car ahead is 1.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Bottas is behind you. And the gap behind us is 2.1 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Our gap to first place is 11.1 seconds. Your pit window's now open. Pit window is open. 4 laps remaining. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go
What?
have a look.
Sorry, Mark. It can happen to the best of us? What are you talking about? Have we got a problem with the car? Has the Jack Doohan curse come across to our car? I sure hope we don't have an engine failure, but it really did sound like it. At this point in the race, I am terrified. I feel like I'm losing performance in the vehicle itself, and also my tyres are falling off the cliff. I should have stuck with the original strategy. You don't have to tell me twice. I know I was wrong. Okay? But we still have to make it back. After a little bit of inspection on the car, talking to Mark, we don't seem to have an engine failure. So my fear was all for nothing. My fear, though, should now be turning behind us because Bottas and Stroll are flying. Thanks, Mark. I know he's a second a lap faster than me. I am driving absolutely terribly. You can see I'm bottoming out on every dangerous curb, and Stroll has switched with Bottas and is now going to be on the back of us as we start this lap. Realistically, Sector 1, he's going to fly. Our tyres have nothing. We're going to be absolutely skating through this first sector. The high-speed turns, we don't have it. Let's have a look on the exit here. How are we going to do? Get the power down nice and gentle. We tap the wall and we slide into the wall. Our tyres are dead. We need to focus. No more mistakes. Lance Stroll will be on the back of us. We keep it narrow again, but we're really going to need a good exit here because if he gets too close to us at the start of DRS, and we've bottomed out on the curb, it could be all over now. Lance Stroll will have us now, and we bottom out a second time for good measure. We've got no DRS to defend with. This is all about playing it smart. At this point, I'm thinking, well, I don't want him to have the 3 DRS zones, so I'm going to give them to myself. We're going to try and play a little bit of DRS chicken here. And we let him go through, but we do it very, very poorly. We've kind of just thrown away P8 in this race. And we now have Bottas as well behind us. Absolutely flying. We've got no ERS. Well, Lance Stroll, we just kind of gave that to him and said, go on, son, take the position. We need to defend. We go a little bit too deep again. The FIA could be knocking on my door after this race to say, mate, you need to give Bottas that position. But for now, we just have one last sprint into the final turn to defend P9 in this race. Bottas going around the outside. We're going to be later on the brakes. Turning in really late, giving him a massive squeeze. We get ahead, get the power down. He's going to have the DRS though, and plenty of ERS. It won't matter though. It's a short sprint to the line, and we'll be taking P9. Come on. It was realistically a disappointing result in the end. When you look at everything that could have happened in this race, we deserved a little bit more, but we let ourselves down at the end of the day. Only one person to blame.
They delivered an outstanding performance today and under intense pressure to take a well-earned victory at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Look at that camera angle, the team celebrating. I love that.
Anthony Davidson, a
Well done,
resounding
Checo.
victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings.
Well then.
Sergio Perez takes the position of points
Would
leader.
you look at that? We take 2 points after this Grand Prix. It's still a good start to the season. You know, you don't want to get too greedy. We could have had more, you know, at the end of the day. But Sergio Perez leads the Drivers' World Championship. Of course, Red Bull are going to be clear in the Constructors. But Max Verstappen might have a title fight on his hands this year. I mean, it's not going to be from us. But Sergio Perez sure could be up there. I mean, he's done a great job today, winning in Jeddah. You know he loves these sorts of circuits, and he's proven it again. We got off to a great start in this race, but it didn't end up meaning much because we let ourselves down. The strategy was wrong, and also, realistically, we just made too many mistakes. Hopefully we won't next time, though. For now, I've been Ethan Woody F1. Thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you very, very soon.